the library. Let's go see a show.
I did make you have to wait for that last note just a little bit long, didn't I? Yeah, well, you can do that when you play all by yourself. Well, what instrument is this? Let me see hands. Who's sure that this is a guitar? You know, kids, not one adult thinks this is a guitar. Not one. Okay, two. Well, for all of you that think this is a guitar, what happens if I put this guitar up in my chin and I play it? What is it now? I thought you were sure it was a guitar. If I take this guitar on my head, does it become a headphone? No, same thing. If I put this guitar under my chin, it's not a violin. It's just a guitar under my chin. There are some differences between a guitar and a violin. Who can tell me a difference? One difference between a guitar and a violin. Yes? A violin is smaller than a guitar. That's one difference. Who knows another difference? Anybody? Yes. That's right. You use a stick. Do you know the name of that stick? Do you know the name of the stick? It's called a bow. If you look close at it, have you ever seen a bow and arrow with the string on it? A bow for a violin looks just like that, except the strings are really tied, so it's called a bow. And the strings are what go over the strings to make the sound. So let's see, we have a violin uses a bow. I use this on a guitar. Does anyone know what it's called? Yes. A pick. And the reason I use the pick is because, you see, if I use my finger, this is about as loud as I could get this guitar. And in no time at all, I'd have a blister on the end of my finger. But if I use the pick, I can get it a lot louder. Now, violins have 4 strings. Most guitars have 6 strings. And you can always count the strings on a stringed instrument by counting these things right here. They're called keys. There's 1 key for every string. They help us tune the instrument. So any stringed instrument you see, like a banjo or a bass or anything you see, if you count these, it'll tell you how many strings. Now, this is a very special guitar. Do you know why? Because it's my guitar. Oh, you laugh. Who believes me? I like you. Yes, I do. And I like you too. Yeah, I do. But no, it's not because it's my guitar. This is a special guitar because it has lots more than 6 strings. Can you count the strings with me? Let's see how many there are. Ready? 1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
There are 12 strings on this guitar. Do you know what that means? That means I, Cowboy Ken, am twice as good a guitarist as a regular guitarist. Oh, you laugh. Who believes me? I like you. Yes, I do. But no, it doesn't make me twice as good. But I do have to work harder to hold down all the strings that are on this guitar. Yeehaw! Thank you, everybody. Well, we're going to get this show off the road with an old song. We're going to talk about some cowboy dreams and cowboy imagination mostly, because we dream all kinds of different ways, don't we? We can dream at night. Anybody dream in color? Yeah. Anybody ever have a nightmare? Yeah, me too. I've had a nightmare or two. And then there's the dreaming where we daydream during the day, like, ooh, I really want to score a soccer goal at the game on Saturday. Anybody ever dream about scoring a goal on soccer or hitting a home run in baseball or something? Yeah, me too. Well, and then there's the imagination where you write up words and you write up stories and you create new things that never were created before. So here's a song the Cowboys wrote in 1873. It goes like this. Well, I'm a Texas cowboy far. If you all were sitting around an old campfire with me in 1873 and I was singing that song, y'all wouldn't be like this. No! You'd be clapping along. Help me out here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, now I'm a Texas cowboy, far away from home. If I ever get back to Texas, I never more will roam. Montana is too cold for me, the winters are too long. And before you can start the roundup, your money is all gone. Oh yeah, now I'm a Texas cowboy, not a long, long way from home. Yeah, I'm a Texas cowboy, and I'm a long, long way from home. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Well, this is a story about a man named Doc. What do you think he does for a living? If his name was Doc. Duck, maybe duck and cover? No, Doc, like in doctor. So his name was Doc, but he was a doctor, and he took care of people in the area in Arizona that he lived in. He was also famous for raising the biggest, whitest horses you've ever seen. Anybody ever seen a big white horse before? Yeah, but his horses were like Clydesdales. They were huge, these big white horses. And everybody from miles around knew Doc raised the best horses. But he also developed a story. And this story, using imagination, helps children maybe understand imagination. For example, once when I was a boy, I was sound asleep in my bed. And my window was across the room. And all of a sudden I heard... I looked out at my window and I'm going, oh, what sound was that? And then I saw this big gray hand come up on the window and go, a burglar's trying to get into my room. So I pulled the covers up over my head to hide. And then to make it even better to hide, I held my breath. And then I heard it again. Oh no, that burglar's trying to get into my room. So I pulled up my covers. Has anybody ever pulled up your covers just a little bit like this? And I'm looking out from under my covers. Sure enough, there goes that gray hand. Oh, the burglar's trying to get into my room. So I decided I better get up and go call my mom and dad and bring them in so that my dad could take care of that burglar that's trying to get into my room. So I pulled off the covers. I jumped out of bed. I started to run. When all of a sudden, that big gray hand once again went up on the window, but this time it did this. And I was looking at my big gray cat. It was my big gray cat. He'd been scratching at the window. Do you know what he wanted? Me to get up out of bed, go over, open the door, and let him in. He wanted to wake me up so I'd let him in. Well, had I run away before I saw that, what do you think I would have thought to this day? That there was a burglar trying to get into my room, right? But because I stayed and I watched, I found out it wasn't a burglar, it was a cat. Well, here's a story out of Arizona, and it's about Doc and his horse, White Cloud. Now, White Cloud's mother was called Rolling Thunder, and I brought White Cloud with me today, and I'm going to be Doc to help tell you this story. So let me get out White Cloud for you all to meet right now. White Cloud, you ready to come out? Yeah, you're going to be Doc. Yes, I'm Doc right now. Okay, I'm going to come out. All right, come on out. Whoa, I went out of this box. All right, come on out. I went out of the box. All right, come on. All right. Oh, boy, I really wanted, well, I felt all cooped up in that box. I'm really glad to be here. Well, White Cloud, I wanted you to help tell a story today. Goody, I really like telling stories. All right, you really do, don't you? Yes, I do. What story are we going to tell today? We're going to tell them a story called The Ghost at the End of the Story. What? What's the story you want to tell? The ghost at the end of the story. Ah! I'm afraid of ghosts. I do not want to tell that story. But I want to tell the ghost at the end of the story. Ah! No. They are going to be too afraid to hear the story. What? They're going to be too afraid? Yes, they're going to be too afraid to hear the story. Do you want to hear this story? They want to hear it. Oh, you don't know the trouble you're making. Well, we're going to tell the story. I'm afraid of ghosts. One night, a knock came at my door. Someone in the town was sick. It was outside of town, and we were going to have to travel across the desert to find them. This is in Arizona. And it was the night of a big full moon. And so I got up and decided to take one of my horses with me. White Thunder was sound asleep, but White Cloud was out there going, "Whoa! Look at my shadow. It's a nighttime shadow." Have any of you ever seen your shadow on a full moon before? Yeah, it's kind of cool to be outside and see that. Yeah, I was really liking my shadow. And I went, "White Cloud, what? I want you to come with me." "No." "What do you mean no? You're supposed to come with me." "No." "Why not?" "Because if I go with you, we're going to get to the ghost at the end of the story, and I do not want to find that ghost." "You have to come with me and work through your fears." "Okay." So off through the desert we went. Well, it wasn't long when all of a sudden we looked out, and in front of us was this shiny, shimmering thing. Can you all raise your hands and flash them like this? Flash your hands like this. There was this shiny, shimmering thing, and White Cloud went, "Ah! Keep them shining and shimmering. There's a shiny monster in front of us!" "What are you talking about? Right there's a monster!" "That's not a monster. That's a big bush, and its leaves are shimmering and shining in the moonlight. Look closer." "Whoa, it is. It's just a make-believe bush." "Oh, okay. How about we stop now?" "What do you mean?" "I think they are going to be too afraid to meet the ghost. I think we need to stop now." "Do you want to stop?"
No!
"Oh, you don't know how scared you're going to be. Find your mommies, because you're really going to be scared." Well, a little while later, as we were walking across the desert to the house, do I have another volunteer out there who'd like to help me out? All right, stand up right there, young lady. Put one hand in the air like this, okay, and put your other hand like this, okay, and raise this hand up a little higher. There, out your elbow. There you go. As we were walking across the desert, all of a sudden, White Cloud once again went, "Ah! There's a giant in front of us! I'm scared of giants!" "What, you're talking about that?" "Yeah, that's a giant." "Look closer." "It's not a giant?" It's not a giant. If you were walking through the desert on a moonlit night and there was something standing there like that in your way that was big and tall, what do you think it would be? A cactus, a big saguaro cactus. It's a saguaro cactus, White Cloud. "Oh, boy, I was kind of afraid. Well, we met a monster and a giant. How about we stop now so we do not meet the ghost?" Do we keep going?
Yeah!
"Oh, you're gonna cry." Well, we finally got to the house of the sick person when I realized I had forgot my medicine bag. I said, "White Cloud, what? I want you to go back to my house and get my medicine bag." "No." "What do you mean, no?" "No." "Why?" "Because there's probably a ghost there and I'm afraid, and they're afraid of ghosts." "I want you to go back there. You've already seen a monster that was nothing more than a bush, a giant that was nothing more than a saguaro, so if you see a ghost, you better pay attention and see what it really is." "Okay." So off he set. And when he got to my house, standing in the doorway of my house was a big white ghost. There's a ghost in the doorway. Oh, I'm so afraid of ghosts. And that ghost did this. Ah! That ghost is waving for me to come. I'm going to go hide behind a tree. And he ran and hid behind a tree.